Oh, wait a second. We're here.
Hello, Jeff.
Hi. I was just admiring my egg.
Is it a wooden egg or a marble egg?
It's actually marble. Yeah. It's got some
Nice.
heft to
Got
it.
some heft to it.
I'm fascinated by eggs, as you know.
There you go. For anybody that's interested or cares, even if you don't, I'm going to say it anyways. You notice I'm in a different studio, if you will, today. This is our farthest north-reaching studio on the Brandartica, you know, office circuit that we have.
Yeah.
So
And how far are you from the Canadian border?
far enough, far enough.
I say.
Yeah, closer than usual. But I'm in what is known in the house here in the cottage as mother's room.
Oh.
And if you think that's a lot of books, uh, I should take you all around the rest of the house with me. There's got to be about 5,000 books in this
Is
house.
is that the complete Hardy Boys series behind
It's
you?
got the complete series of so many things. It's crazy. Um, It's really wild. Her grandfather was a reader, avid reader, and collector of books, as am I. And it's just, I can come up here. Of course, I have my Kindle with 1,000 books on it. But when I come here, it's always nice to go through the shelves and just pull one and see what I get, you know? And
Yeah, that's great. That's great. It looks
stuff,
great.
good stuff. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
Brianna, I'd love to give you a tour of the bookshelves. We can certainly arrange that.
you don't have one of those ladders that kind of scoots around.
Oh, but there is a step stool upstairs because it's very
Yeah.
bookshelves are probably about 9 feet high.
I
Say
see.
dangerously close to like the catwalk upstairs. So the living room is a great room in the very Teddy Roosevelt style, traditional, filled of heads and all sorts of antiquity and skulls, and it's really
Right.
wild. It is like
Love that.
stepping back into the late 1800s and hanging around. Of course, that said, we have Wi-Fi and the rest of it. So welcome everybody to Where the Dogs of Society Howl. Jeff and I have been communicating via tin can phone for the last week or two, and then I'll be back on Monday. And we've got a great guest today. Super excited to have her on. We've been looking forward to it for quite some time. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. We're going to be talking about Italian food. We're going to be talking about blues music, musicianship, singing, songwriting, creating a brand, and why one might do so in the CPG industry. Where are the connections between perhaps the music industry, performance, and creating a brand and getting it into at this point she's in multiple large stores and getting it onto the shelves. And of course the big question is getting it off the shelves fast enough so that they'll order more, right? Did I
Exactly.
miss anything
Right.
there, Jeff?
No, it's all good. It's all
Okay,
good.
cool.
We love music and we love food. So this is
Yeah,
fine.
this is a no-brainer, a no-brainer. So our guest today has two careers, and most people would kill for either one of them. Uh, she is an acclaimed blues and Americana singer-songwriter. She has 11 studio albums, a Blues Music Award nod, and she's been touring across 3 continents she's toured. So when the music world went quiet in 2020, she didn't wait around. She turned a lifelong love of Italian cooking into Gina's Italian cuisine. No sugar added, low carb Italian food that's now in Kroger, Publix, and climbing on Amazon. Please welcome the Philly born, Nashville based, and always running at full speed at a diminished D7th, perhaps. I don't know. Gina Sicilia, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for the introductions.
Oh, yeah. I could have gone on and on, but I figured you probably want to get in here and start telling our stories.
Yes.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've got a few of our old friends in the house, and I know we'll have some new friends in the house today too. So welcome everybody. And in case you didn't know, this show can be caught here live streaming on LinkedIn as long as
Yes.
they'll allow it to continue. But you can also find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. So Gina, where are you today? What are you up to?
Yes, I am in Nashville, at home in Nashville, and I am in a place where I spend a lot of time in my kitchen. Sitting at my kitchen table was where I work most of the time, and that's what I'm doing today. Just plugging away.
Awesome. Let's test you with a couple of truths first off. You speak fluent Italian. You love olive oil, but you hate olives. Uh, you recently took up jogging. Stop me if I'm inaccurate. And what do you think out of these fluent Italian, loving olive oil but hating olives, and taking up jogging? What do you think surprises people the most about you?
Oh, goodness. What surprises people the most? That I don't like olives.
Yeah.
Yes, that is surprising.
Did you have a bad olive experience as a child?
My whole life, I can't even smell olives. I
Oh.
can't take the smell. If they end up in a dish and I accidentally get a bite of it, it completely ruins it for me. Can't get the taste out of my mouth, but I love olive oil and I will drink olive oil by the shot glass. But when it comes to olives, I can't take it.
It's probably the saltiness, maybe.
Maybe the bitterness, the I hope someday to develop a taste for them. That is an ambition.
I love olives, and I find too that I don't like pitted olives, but I like olives,
Right.
because for some reason the taste is very different to me.
Yeah.
Blue cheese and olives are the two foods I can't really handle. Other than that, I will eat anything and everything.
Yeah,
Interesting.
blue cheese I can get.
Well, looks like we do have a little bit of a feedback echo we're getting from Rod.
Oh.
Rod is telling us that. Rod, is there anyone in particular that's feeding back? All of us, none of us, some of us? Let us know. We'll see if we can work that out.
Yeah, give us some feedback on the feedback.
Feedback, the feedback. Does that apply to capers also, Gina?
Not my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, I know. There was this expensive, weird, mushy, salty pea.
Yeah, I have to make a caper-free puttanesca.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a flower bud, right? Caper is flower bud, I believe.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
is.
So it's Thursday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You're on this live show
Yep.
with us. Um, instead of a stage, right, or a stove, what does a normal day actually look like for you right now?
A normal day
Is different every day. It depends on what I'm working on. Obviously, I don't have that 9 to 5 job, thankfully. And it's actually that's the challenging part because there's no blueprint, and every day as a founder, you have to wake up and figure out your schedule and what you need to work on and what comes next. There's nobody telling you what to do, which I love, but it can also make it challenging just to get to navigate. So right now, I am in transition, moving to my new and improved low carb, high protein pasta formula. I'm already selling my pasta on Amazon. I launched on there a year ago, but I'm moving to my new and improved formula. So I'm in transition with sourcing the ingredients and my new manufacturer, my new 3PL, all of that, all the logistics and all the details. So that's what I'm working on today. It's almost ready to go.
Hmm. Oh, that's very good. Hey, being from Philadelphia and now being in Nashville, both places seem to have very strong opinions on food and flavor. What have you? How do they play into your approach now to cooking and creating? What have you gotten from each of them that's unique?
Oh, wow. I still feel like I take
Primarily from my northeastern background, the northeastern culture, and the southern Italian culture that where my dad comes from. I would say Nashville to me as a business owner, maybe more so than it has in the kitchen. It's a great place to launch and grow a business right now. I mean, there's no better place. So it's really influenced me and helped me in that way. I don't know anywhere else where I could have done quite what I'm doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, coming from that.
maybe there's other places, but I'm passionate about Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with the Italian nana and grandpa, and that they were far more influential on our on everything in our family than my French Canadian grandparents. Um, but like, yeah, I take all of that stuff with me, and I love to cook like you. And Italian for me is always kind of the go-to, like, and I don't know about you, but like, I really, not in a mean way, but I really, if you're gonna do Italian food, like make the effort, really get in there. No, don't
Yeah.
throw me don't tell me we're having spaghetti and frozen meatballs and
Right. Right.
Prego.
Make it homemade. And there's also a simplicity to it that I love also. And it's not a complicated cuisine to make. And there's no need to overthink it either.
right, right,
An
absolutely.
art to it.
There's something about it, I think, and you said it right there. It's clean. There's a clean simplicity to it, that everything has its place and everything has its story. And when you layer it in properly, they all come through. But when vice versa, I think sometimes people are trying to make a sauce and they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink in,
Yeah.
and you end up with a muddled mess. Now, before we go any further, do you have a strong opinion on sauce or gravy?
Oh, sauce.
Yeah.
Sauce. I think it's a regional thing.
It depends on the family you come from and what they said, but we always said sauce. But okay, if you want to say gravy, say gravy.
Yeah, you want to say gravy?
I'm gonna throw you a curveball though, because you speak fluent Italian.
Mm-hmm.
If you're speaking fluent Italian while you're cooking, does the food come out better?
Yes. Every time. It's magic.
I speak
It's magic.
fake fluent Italian, so
Yeah.
it sounds like Italian, but it's
I say.
probably gibberish. But just so you know, I did take like 7 or 8 years of Italian in junior high and high school. Um, and I can understand more Italian than I can speak it. I have a few phrases that I can, uh, easily understand and easily rattle off. But could you teach Jeff and I and our audience today some kind of Italian phrase that we could use later?
Okay.
Let's start really simple with my nene. How about that? Say,
Mi chiamo. Mi chiamo.
Mi
You wouldn't
chiamo.
say il mio nome è. That's the literal translation. But in Italian, you say mi chiamo, which means I call myself. Mi chiamo Gina Sicilia. And then I was going to ask you, so parli italiano o solo capisci italiano?
See, that's Italian.
You can communicate like that. You can communicate like that.
Speaking Italian.
Italiana, mi piace la cucina italiana.
It's a beautiful language.
Great.
It's
It is a
beautiful language. Funny thing is, I wanted to take French, and my parents were like, "Dude, it's just literally, you don't want that. You don't."
I took 5 years of Latin, which is pre-Italian.
That's a good foundation. That's a good foundation. That
It was.
being
It was
able
like-
to understand is
Yeah.
probably the first step to speaking. You can't speak unless you understand first. It's just a matter of then taking what you already understand and forcing yourself to speak it.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's very uncomfortable and you make mistakes. That's how you do it.
What part of Italy is your family from?
From Calabria, the southernmost region, from a little town called Rozzano Gravina, provincia di
Don't they
Cosenza.
come from there mostly, or is that a heavy olive oil region?
Oh, olive oil is definitely made in Calabria. Yeah.
Yes, it's fantastic. A lot of olives, incredible fig trees in the summer. We're gonna go next month, and it's gonna be peak fig season. So I'm looking forward to all the big fresh figs that you can pull off the training, and the bread and the cheese, and there's just nothing better.
A good, I don't know if you've had it before. I was introduced to it. I think it might have been more of a Portuguese or Spanish flair to it. But, I grew up, I'm sure you too, with the sweet and hot, Italian sausages with peppers and onions and all this stuff. But I was introduced to a dish that was hot and sweet Italian sausage, cooked on the grill, cut up, and then grilled figs mixed all together. Instead of the onions, instead of the peppers and all that, try this. It is to die for. It's almost makes you go, it's hard to go back. I mean, I'll always go back. But
Wow. Well, then that gives you the savory and the sweet together, even more so than the onions. That sounds good.
it really is. And you're there in peak season, so give it a shot. That's the thing I always find. It's hard to find figs around here. And you go,
We are getting reports of the mic issue, I guess, with the echo. Do you have are you logged into like LinkedIn maybe?
I am logged in. So I am logged. Do you want me to close out LinkedIn?
Yeah, maybe close that. Oh, let's just say. I don't know.
Okay. Testing.
No.
We're still.
I did the echo gate or whatever
Okay.
on the thing. I tried that.
Let me mute myself.
Somebody says Gina has more than one device up.
Oh,
I do.
how does they know? Are they looking at her computer?
People know. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah,
Gina
yeah.
Bay
Are they here?
actually knows. I
Are they
sure
in the
don't.
room with
Closing
you?
LinkedIn on my phone.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either.
We'll just keep
Sorry.
talking.
That's
You
okay.
keep shutting them down. That's okay. No worries. Look, when we first jumped into the call before you even got here, Gina, my mic wasn't working, and I was like, seriously? Like, really? And because at home I have a completely different setup and microphones separate and, running through a workstation, and
Yeah.
it's different.
Sorry you have to hear my voice twice there.
I'm not hearing it, but you know what? We'll just, everyone just put one finger in your ear. You'll be all right. So let's move forward here into the 11 album stuff. Music to food, right, Jeff?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, 11 albums since 2007. Wow. Um, take us back. Um, what did music teach you about connecting with total strangers in a room?
Everything. I can't think of a better training ground for
CPG and grocery that's been in music, and I do find so many parallels. I can touch on that as well, but just the cold calling and being an independent artist for 20 years and the self advocacy that comes along with that, and booking my own tour dates and everything, the creativity aspect, the marketing, social media. I mean, I could go on and on. It's just it's what trained me.
I didn't realize that's what's happening.
There's a whole resilience thing. Like, obviously you have to face, I would think in the music industry, a lot of rejection, right?
Oh, constantly. And I mean, it gets to the point where you get knocked down so many times, you just don't care anymore. And it's not that you don't care, but you become so resilient, and you approach things with what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out. Well, that's not the worst thing that can happen. And so it kind of makes you fearless in a way when you no longer care about being rejected. We're not afraid to ask.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I do. I think when you have that, and we all have it at different points and different things. You have that sort of anxiety, that fear inside internally, that what if, and when you're living that way, anything you try to do is gets caught up in the muck of all that. And when you
Yes.
and when you don't, I'm not saying you don't try, but when you try differently, I suppose. And when you stop caring so much, that's when things start to catch and get traction. I know that for me, I didn't know I wanted to be a musician till I knew when I was like young, but I didn't know what that meant. And after, trying my hand at the music business and realizing this isn't for me. It's just not for me right now. But like you, I realized I tell stories. I write, I tell stories, I perform. What are the things you can do with that? And you found it in CPG. Go, I can make and create and tell stories. Something that's really special to you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think I think music definitely prepared me for this world, which is I don't know which one's more competitive, CPG or music. Probably CPG. Even more cutthroat than music if that's possible.
Statement.
Uh,
That's
Sure.
true. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But
what was the moment, or share with us a little bit more about when you went from the thing I love to the thing I'm going to build? COVID hits, tours stop, and how did you, what happened? Where'd you go?
That
Well, in the months prior to COVID, I was began nurturing my love of cooking a little bit more, and then I was quarantined in my East Nashville apartment, and like everyone else, I spent all my time in the kitchen, and my creative energy began to shift from music to food. And unfortunately, I released an album May 2020, which was the worst time. But there was no turning back. Everything was already in the works. So I began incorporating my cooking into the music release. I would do live stream cooking shows from my apartment, feature a song from the album. I did an album with a band called the North Mississippi All Stars. It was an album of love songs, and so I would feature a new song and a dish. Offered recipe cards to go along with pre-orders or things like that. Um, Posted more pictures and videos, and people kept saying, "You should sell this. You should sell this." So one day I decided to place orders for food over the internet, over Facebook, and I sold like 50 in an hour. And I announced Gina's Italian Cuisine, and that was March 26, 2021.
Oh yeah, still in the middle of it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's when things were opening, starting to open up a little bit, but that's when Gina's Italian Cuisine was born, and I started working at farmers markets. And going beyond your question, I guess, but that's how that started.
Okay. That's okay. If I'll ask this before you jump in there, Jeff. If marinara were a genre of song or music, or would it be to you? Doesn't have to be it for everyone, but
Well, marinara, it depends on what kind of tomato sauce, because marinara, I guess, is a little bit more dense. It's darker, slower cooked. If you want to do like a summery sweet tomato basil sauce, like Gina Skinny Italian, that's a little bit more light. Be happy
what
with
would
it.
that be in terms of music? I'm guessing it's not Ozzy Osbourne.
No.
Is it Fleetwood Mac? Is it who is it?
Oh gosh, it's James Taylor on a Happy Day. I don't know. I have no idea why that came into my head. I never thought about it before. If my sauce is a genre.
If James Taylor was your sauce, James Taylor on a Happy Day, I look at that and I go, it's light, it's clean, it's simple, and it's buoyant, it's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has an optimism to it.
An optimism. I love that. Sauce with an optimism. All right, I cut you off somewhere in there, Jeff.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's
Okay. I thought you maybe see.
Yeah, I was just gonna jump over to like the actual product and the brand. So Italian food without the carb coma. Now, I totally connect with this because I started keto probably 7 years ago. And now it's turned into like a low carb kind of diet. But that line really connects with me. It's sharp. Um, how long did it take for you to land on that, right? And how many how many revisions did you go through before you landed on that?
That was really the first one. I wasn't really trying to come up with a tagline like that. It was just a way for me to express, you know, maybe in a tongue-in-cheek way, that Italian food is kind of known for giving you that carb coma, but this is a time without the carb coma. So it's now going on my packaging.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it reminds me of like that Thanksgiving thing, like after you've eaten a big Italian meal.
Yeah.
And I've had real Italian meals that were extensive. We had some friends in East Boston uh, um that would cook this meal that we would go for dinner, and it was like the dishes never stopped coming out, and everybody at the end was basically like in that coma of lasagna, manicotti,
Yeah.
all this other stuff coming out.
And from the beginning, right when I started the business in March 2021, I had this idea, and I was using the word keto a little bit more, not using that word anymore, but I had this idea of keto-friendly Italian, and I noticed that there wasn't a brand that was dedicated to healthy Italian across categories. There was healthy pasta, there were some healthier sauces. Didn't always market themselves as such, but there were healthier sauces, and then there were frozen meals or grab and go meals that had Italian meals or Italian cuisine, but that wasn't all they were. They also had Southwest, or they had um, different kinds of cuisine. So there wasn't something dedicated to healthy Italian food across categories. I thought that was something that was really missing, and there was an opportunity, but I didn't know how to execute it. And I always wanted to do Italian healthy frozen meals, but that's complicated with the manufacturer and the USDA and the refrigeration. So I decided to finally launch the concept with the jarred shelf stable sauces, and then moved on to the low carb pasta. And the vision is an entire collection. Maybe that's way too ambitious, and I'm going to get a rude awakening someday. But It's more than just one product. It's not just a sauce company or a pasta company. It's going to be an entire collection under the umbrella of Healthy Italian. So to better communicate the vision and the mission, last year I rebranded it to Gina Skinny Italian.
Yeah.
My echo is messing me up.
But no, but no jarred olives though, for sure. Right?
No, nothing. I'm gonna do a spicy sauce next, bending the rules a little bit because I'm not much of a spicy food person, but there's been a lot of requests for that. Oh yeah, but so I changed to Gina Skinny Italian, and now I've got my own formula of low carb, high fiber, high protein pasta coming,
Yeah.
coming back to Amazon.
Oh, I love
And not to hijack, but I've always pondered on this, and I don't know why. I'm not Italian, number one, clearly, but what is up with this vodka sauce, and why? How is because I'm Russian Ukrainian? How does that tie in with Italian food at all?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't call mine I have something similar. I don't call it vodka sauce.
Yeah.
I call it tomato parmigiano cream because that's more literally what it is. I don't put vodka in it. I don't know where vodka sauce came from.
Yeah, isn't that? I've always wondered where that originated because it doesn't seem like part of Italian culture. Vodka.
I don't think so. It's definitely more Italian American, which is also a very real thing. It's a very real cuisine, very real culture, language. Uh, the mozzarella and the prosciutto and the whatever the ragout. And it's very mostly, and you mostly find it in New Jersey, New York, Boston. It's kind of like a northeastern culture that merged with Italian culture and created its own thing. So it's all very real. And I mean, some people might argue that there's some Italian American dishes that are maybe improved versions of Italian dishes. I don't know. You can't get a
Part of that, though, to me, leads you back to what do you have? And in Italy, I believe, a lot of those dishes come from making what you have, you know, cooking with the things you have access to.
Right.
And here, these days, we have, greater access to a variety of things, whether they're better for you or better in flavor is irrelevant. So people are, they mix them around. I mean, I don't know. I have a good friend whose family was they have a chain of Italian American restaurants in New England, in Boston, and around. And it started with one. As a kid, our family would go there on special occasions, but the food itself was very much Italian American. It wasn't really true to its Italian. It was close to its Italian roots, but they had expanded. So I think that happens, and I mean, I think you see that even in Asian cuisine. And
Oh, everywhere. Yeah.
you know,
Because it's not Chinese food, especially in North
Right,
England,
right.
that you're getting. It's not.
Right.
Oh,
I don't know, crispy orange chicken is bruschetta, and you see that with Indian cuisine too. What is it? A chicken masala, tikka masala. Isn't that more of a British dish, or it's just a different example? But
it's funny you put those two together because I wanted, I've said it before, but my wife and I went to India on our honeymoon, and it was wild. But I'll tell you, the best Chinese food I've ever had in my life was in India. It bumped up. They're so close up at the north. A lot of those restaurants up in Delhi and other areas around that end of the country, they serve, the menu is both Indian and Chinese food. And first I was like, why? I didn't come here for Chinese food, but to be honest with you, I would order both and just the Chinese.
yeah, the fusion thing is awesome. I love that.
They weren't fixing it. They were just like, here's both.
Yes, I see. So separate items.
Yeah.
There's places in New York like that. I remember reading about or saw a little mini documentary about Mexican Chinese culture. So there was a group of Chinese that had moved to Mexico first and then moved up to the New York area, and that they had these Mexican Chinese restaurants.
Wow, I would love to try that.
So yeah, it was like it was a thing. It was a community that just they had influence, on some dishes, but most of it was separate, like
Yeah.
separate pieces.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I want to just recognize some of our folks in the audience, of course. Rod has just said, of course, leave it to the Americans to make spaghetti better. Right, put vodka. Although
It's true.
I got that, and fucking Rob Unger, lady.
I know. Yeah, Rob's. It says he's late again.
Grab a seat at the back. We've saved you a seat on the aisle of the mouth.
I'm tired. I'm so tired of that guy.
Now, we love that he comes every week, you know?
He does.
And again, I go back to skinny Italian and authentic Italian seem to pull in two different directions, at least in terms of the stereotypical sort of perception of it. Do you ever find yourself, or how do you approach the idea for a shopper to understand and trust that, you know, your sauce is both indulgent, but also better for you?
Right. That is flavorful and also
Because
good
that's
for you.
how I feel. I don't want like
Yeah.
pasta because it's better for me. It
Um,
doesn't do it for me. It tastes like cardboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But how do you do it? How do you
the bite. Yeah.
Through my marketing, through images and videos, and I guess through the descriptions on my packaging, through the ingredients and the freshness of the ingredients. And I'm very adamant in a jarred sauce that I don't use dried ingredients. I don't use dried oregano or dried basil. I think that's the stuff that doesn't belong in tomato sauce in general, any dried ingredient. But it's what gives that stale jarred sauce flavor that people hate. So a lot of people will try my sauce and they'll say, normally we do not like jarred sauce. We like to make our own, but this doesn't taste like jarred sauce.
right?
That's to go that tastes like you're opening a jar of homemade sauce.
As that's the best part. I'm very particular about my sauce. And you know, it's like I like to make sauce, and I don't think I could ever hold a candle to what you're able to do with Gina Skinny Italian, but I think there's such an effort and there's love that goes into it, and attention and experience, things your mother or your nonna taught you that you do that other people don't do.
Yes.
Goes in it, you know.
Yeah.
I remember always, you know, I think, and I don't know if this is a wives' tale but putting, instead of using sugar, using carrot to sweeten up a sauce.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom always puts some carrot in the sauce and lets it simmer. And then when you take that carrot out at the end, it's the most amazing, delicious thing. No, you don't throw it out. You can eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
And things like a Parmigiano cheese rind, I always do that in my tomato sauce.
Oh,
Easy.
I've
Just
never heard of.
get the cheese rind and cook it in the sauce, and that's super delicious to pull out and eat
I have a
after
freezer
6
full of
hours.
those, Gina.
Yeah, you save them, put them in the freezer so they don't grow mold, and then throw them in the sauce.
Sometimes vanilla. What are all these? And I'm like, they're for a sauce I haven't made yet. They're for a sauce
Right.
sometime in the future, you know?
I do that with veggies. Like if all the ends of like celery and stuff, I'll put it in a bag and leave it in, because you never know like what you might be cooking. You need that stuff.
Exactly. And I love simmering. One of my favorite things to make is just a meat sauce. I love to simmer meat and sauce and short ribs and sausage, and I love making meatballs, and I love that.
That was a part of our Sunday dinner each week at home when I was a kid, and I loved that whole process. But I remember all the, you know, the pork chop or the you know, beef, leftover left chicken was all in the sauce, and it would, you know, they'd take it out, put it on a plate, you know, you had that, and all of it. Those are the things. I think that's one of the things about Italian food, and what you're creating here too is really interesting, because it delivers that nostalgia and that memory boost. Like, it delivers it right to your kitchen, right to your table. And a lot of people probably don't have that opportunity where that's concerned, right? They didn't have that maybe growing up, so they don't know. And you're offering them an opportunity to glimpse into this slice of Americana, this slice of Italy, right in their own home, right?
Absolutely. And so much of what Italian cuisine is, especially Southern Italian cuisine, is the freshness and the simplicity. So I want to continue to try to communicate that with better for you products and um, soups and meals, and hopefully someday desserts. I would love to do a lower carb, better for you tiramisu.
I'd love that too.
I have so many ideas. That's the problem. I have so many ideas for different products, so I have to discipline myself a little bit and focus. I'm trying to learn from what I did wrong in music, which was be a little bit aimless and not really focus myself. And I'm trying to um, refine my mission and my vision a little bit more. And I've really realized over the past 5 years that if you can't define who you are and what you do in 5 words or less, how are you going to market yourself? How is anyone
Yes.
going to know who you are and what you do? So it's easy to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but it's about really um, being more concise and
Yeah, and then in regards to that, like in terms of like channels that you're in, right? So like it's at Kroger, Publix, you're doing Amazon,
Amazon. I'm in about the regional stores. I'm in about 100 stores right now.
and they're kind of different animals. But the story, the story stays the same. But do some of them, not Amazon, obviously you're doing the Amazon store, but for the actual retailers, do some of them have a different take on your product as far as like when you have discussions with them on it?
a little bit, but I'm still very new and I'm like only a few weeks into both of them. So I'll report
Okay.
back on that and what the major differences are. But it's obviously different customer base, different shopping habits,
Yes.
different reasons for going to a store. So I'm still learning all about that and figuring it out how to make that work for my brand.
We hear stories about like people who start off in Sprouts, let's say, and then they go to a more of a mass type of retail. It's a totally different customer, right?
Yeah.
They the and you could argue either way, right? So there's probably it's probably way more competition at the Sprouts if you have a natural product. And then but on the flip side, there's a sea of other choices there, right?
Yes.
That you
And
don't
I
normally
think
get.
maybe
There are certain stores that where people lean more towards emerging innovative brands, newer brands. They're keeping their eye open for something new. Maybe shoppers at Publix and Kroger are more committed to what they've been buying.
Yes.
Figuring that out as well, is navigating that.
Right. So when you get into, I think as a founder in the CPG industry, it's been fun since we've met you and watching you sort of grow and get active and become, your reach is becoming farther, the success stories are
Mm.
starting to rise to the surface. And like anybody else in any business, there's plenty that goes on behind the scenes that nobody ever really knows about. There's plenty of failure. No, there's no such thing as an overnight success, especially right in music or in CPG. I don't think there's really such a thing. I'm sure there's an anomaly somewhere, but uh, you know, getting into a store, a lot of people assume, or I see posts where founders are, it seems like they got into a store and it's the finish line. And I think it's really more so the starting line. Would you agree? And if
Oh, yeah.
for you, yeah, and what changed the day you got the yes or the day after you got your first yes, getting into the first stores? What did you realize? What did you discover? Or what changed?
The need for funding, the need for money, how expensive it can be was a
Yeah.
big surprise to me. It was a big shift because for 5 years now, I've just done farmers markets and built a customer base through farmers markets and direct to consumer, which is helping me out now regionally with my retailers because those
Sure.
customers are going to the store. So and that's what taught me how to have a business. And I don't even think I knew what CPG stood for when I started this. And there are a lot of founders, they'll have success. And then I look at their background, it's like, spent 15 years doing marketing for PepsiCo or Kraft. And I'm, here I am working farmers markets, just trying to figure out what a go to market strategy even means. So there's been a lot of learning there. But yeah, the how expensive it can be, the funding that was required. You asked me what surprised me the most or what?
Well, I think that is a really solid answer, especially where I've heard it from other people too. I was thinking too, obviously, like what changed for you that day?
What changed? Yeah.
But I think part of that answer is the need for funding.
The need for money.
Well,
And
yeah, I would guess the big aha moment is like, so you get in the store and then you're waiting to get paid.
yes, there's a gap, significant gap of time there.
So that you have to find a solution for that. It's probably one of the biggest hurdles, really, when you're
Because when you're at the farmer's market, it's an instant transaction. When you're on Amazon, you get the money fairly soon, I would guess.
yeah.
But but this is a whole different thing.
Right. You're not dropping off the product at the Kroger warehouse and they're handing you a check.
Exactly.
It was probably 60 days. So that's something that I learned, and I had to figure out a solution for that. And really, when I first found out that I got into Kroger and I got into Publix, I knew that I had to really discipline myself and focus and get my ducks in a row and keep telling myself, I cannot mess this up. I cannot mess this up. Especially with Kroger, they've been really good to me, and they started me out for the first few months on end caps for exposure, but that's also a lot of pressure as I need to move units, and I've already sold hundreds of jars in the first month or so, hundreds and hundreds, but I need to grow that, and I need to not make them sorry that they decided to carry my product. And yes, I think getting into retail is not even half the battle. You need to stay on the shelf. You don't want to stay on the shelf. You want someone to buy you and take you off the shelf.
Yes, have the shelf space is what
You don't want to lose that spot. That's worse than not getting in at all. So that's what I'm learning, and I'm learning all of this as I go. It's a new universe to me. So don't really have any idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of figured out.
But isn't it just the same as how you went into music? A new universe, learning it as you go, making mistakes, learning from them, and changing. I don't like to say pivoting. I like to say adapting.
Yeah.
You adapt as you go.
Yes.
You.
And there are certain things you're just forced to learn.
That's right.
You're just forced to learn, and it can seem overwhelming. The big picture can seem overwhelming, but day by day, step by step, you learn the process, and you learn things that need to be done and things that you shouldn't do, and you try to not make any mistakes. So although that's inevitable.
Okay. With all your time in obviously Nashville and touring and playing on stages, I have a question. As you know, I was a bass player in a rock and roll band. Got around a bit. Why? And maybe one of your friends who's here, or they can send me a note later. Why when there's a sound check is the bassist always left out?
We're trying to save our years. We're trying to preserve our years for this.
My memory of sound checks were guitar, drums, go around the kit, vocals, bass, never mind. You know, it was like,
Well, there's priorities. The bottom of that. There's a totem pole. There's a totem.
all right. In your band, or when you've been in a band and playing with a regular set, what's your favorite thing in the band? Like, is it the lead? Is it the rhythm? Is it the getting to write and sing your own words? Is it the rhythm section? What gets you, like, not even about your own band, but when you see another band, what gets you right out of the gate every time? Is it
Drum solos.
drum solos? Yeah.
I
Love drum solos.
Oh, wow.
I could listen to albums of drum solos. I love it.
There should be such a thing. I remember in Boston, there was a band called Concussion Ensemble, and it was like 5 drummers,
Yeah.
one of us, 2 guitarists, and it was just exactly that. It was like a solo palooza. Interesting. Who are some of your?
I love watching a band that has a double drummer as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's been a few.
I've always been blown away by drummers who sing lead vocals also. Like,
Oh, yeah, that is
That's hard. That's hard. And a lot of drummers that I've heard that also sing, they will have it's like a rhythmic quality about the songs they write because they're drumming at the same time. It's a little bit, they take a different approach to it, but that's got to be hard.
if you had a drummer to pick, who's your favorite? Did a solo that just blew your mind, continues to blow your mind? Is there one that comes to mind immediately?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to a local Nashville drummer who I was just in the studio with the other day, Martin Lenz. He did a beautiful job. I just co-wrote a new song with a friend. It's sort of like an Italian bossa nova. It's a song a little bit in English, a little bit in Italian, which is maybe a little preview of what I want to do in the future. And we went into the studio the other day and recorded it. So let's give a shout out to Martin Lenz on the drums, and I bet he obviously does killer drum solos as well. So let's give a shout out to him.
The first that's the first drummer I ever saw sing was in the Romantics. What I Like About You. So it's on that TV. And I'm like, wait a second, drummers can sing songs that I hadn't realized. Phil Collins was doing that already.
And what's the song? Who's the drummer in Oh What a Night? Late December
Yes.
63.
You got no, I don't.
If anybody knows, pop into the thing.
Yes, please do. Please do. I'm drawing a
Later night.
But
I'm typing.
he wrote that song. He's the drummer and sings it.
Yeah, I mean the Four Seasons.
The Four Seasons. Oh, they were way out of the
Oh yeah, Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons.
Frankie Valley. Yeah, yeah.
Four Seasons. Were they a quartet or was there more?
I think it was 5 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Why weren't there the Five Seasons?
We'll have to Wikipedia that.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I think there's a space in a place, unless it already exists, and you'll tell me, for like a country blues, Italian folk kind of.
Yeah, I want to try to, and it goes with the brand too. And I love Italian music. I love Italian music, and that was all of my very first concerts in my life were all Italian artists, and a lot of the Italian artists from Italy would come to Atlantic City, New Jersey, and play the casinos there, and then all the local Italian Americans from the area would come and see them. So my very first concerts were all Italian, and the music means a lot to me. So I would and I love the Italian language, and I still study it, and I try to make it a part of my everyday life. And later today I'm going to do a little cooking video in Italian. I like to incorporate that as well, so I think that would be something new for album number 12. What have I never done before? That so.
Oh, very cool. Have you ever heard of I believe you won't get him, he's dead. But Sandro Giacobbe, I think it is. Oh,
I don't know.
Sandro Giacobbe. He was so it's funny to me because our singer in our first band, his name was Sandro. The reason he couldn't sing at all, Gina, he couldn't sing, but he was a lady magnet. I mean, it was just, he was an everything magnet. And I always thought it was so funny because I found an album cover one day with this Sandro guy from Italy. And I was like, there's actually another singer out there named Sandro. Very cool. Look him up.
Okay, I will.
Italian-American food and music, and I think that some of it blends across here. One of my favorite movies is Big Night. Have you seen Big Night?
I have not.
Oh my God, girl! See Big Night, early 90s. The soundtrack, so when I cook and I want like a really fun soundtrack, I play the soundtrack from that movie. It's a mixture for Italian-American and some Italian artists, and it's got a little Connie Francis, a little Sinatra, and some genuine Italian music. But that movie is all about two brothers who come to America to open up a restaurant, and they've got their big night coming up.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
It's really fun.
What's interesting? Never heard of that one.
Big Night.
I just watched a cool Italian movie the other night on Netflix, Isola delle Rose, and it's on American Netflix. It's called Rose Island. It was came out a few years ago, and it's a true story about a man in Italy in the late 1960s who built an island to try to create an independent state, an independent country of his own. And that's a really cool story because it's a true story, and there's good music, and put that one on your list, Rose Island.
Just wrote it down.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that for sure. And if anybody, well, we still have some echoes, but you're okay. We're all going to survive this.
Well,
We are the echo chamber.
Nothing like the show we did where my internet kept cutting out, and I was in and out 50 times before I hung it up.
it's easy to blame you.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know what?
I'm tough. I can take it. You can, whatever. You can blame me.
As a founder, and we're talking now scaling and money and the grind in general, how do you decide what or when to say yes, when to turn something down, when everything around you is probably swirling in this tornado of urgency?
Right. It can be easy. It's easy to feel that way. And like you have to get into every store right now. But I think that's where I would get in trouble. And it would be very easy to just drown. And I would rather not do that. My with retail. I want to expand into stores where it makes sense and where I'm not going to lose a fortune. My goal, especially with this low carb pasta, is to continue scaling it on Amazon. It's already doing really well on Amazon. Um, there's not a whole lot of competition in the healthy pasta space, and with the macros that my pasta contains, it's a really strong product. Within 6 months, I hit all 50 states in Puerto Rico. I have people on their 10th order in a year. It's going really well. I want to scale that. I'm expanding into TikTok Shop, Shopify, more direct to consumer. My goal, maybe it's my pipe dream, is that I'm going to continue to scale e-commerce to the point where I can the data and the numbers will be undeniable, and I'm just going to create such incredible brand recognition around the country that it's just going to be a no-brainer for major retailers to take it on, and I won't even have to sell it to them. It'll speak for itself. That's my pipe dream, but
I tell
that's
you,
what I'm trying
yeah.
to do, and also expand regionally in Kroger and in Publix. I just entered 62 new Publix stores. So I don't want to get in over my head. Maybe I'm a little bit gun shy about getting in over my head and scared of that.
It
But at
makes
the same
sense.
time, I want to be everywhere at the time. So I'm
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that really struck me with your product is that, and again, I've been on low carb for like, I don't know, 7, 8 years, maybe, who knows? But before there was even like keto things on the shelf. but but one thing when I tried your product that really kind of set it apart is that, I mean, there's a lot of other products that are low carb, but it's the taste. It tastes like real pasta. Your product tastes like real pasta. And I've had all the lupin based pasta, flour based pasta. Does it fill a void? Yeah. But it's not like that pasta experience like
no,
what you have.
no. You, the whole idea is to lean toward a healthier alternative without feeling like you're compromising, especially if you're diabetic. I have family members who are diabetic and can eat my pasta and it doesn't move their blood sugar. And wait until you try the new formula because it is even less detectable that it's a healthier version. And it has 12 grams of protein that comes from egg. And it has 12 grams of net carbs. And it has 24 grams of fiber. So it's really in terms of macros, and when you compare it to other products that are out there, it's higher protein, lower carb, and it has a shorter cooking time because of the whole egg, and it is basically undetectable that it's a healthier version. It's
Yeah, I love
really
that.
exciting. I'm
Yeah, 'cause
really
that whole space, in terms of eggs and cottage cheese, even like as far as the creativity in new recipes that is so needed because the stuff that we've we've had for years hasn't really tasted authentic, right? It hasn't. It's just been a compromise. And so I love that. I love that. And that's kind of the direction that I've gone in terms of trying all these different products is that I'm looking for at least a 85% experience of what I
looking
had
for the
before.
experience of eating it.
Yeah.
Not only the health value, you're looking for the experience of sitting over a bowl of pasta and being able to scarf your face with the pasta and still feel that it's gratifying and like you're eating comfort food.
That's right. That's right.
100%. 100%. So all three of us like to cook, like many of the people in our audience, I'm sure. Gina, if there's one thing in the kitchen you see somebody do that makes you just take the sauce ladle out and slap it on the counter, what is it you see people do in the kitchen cooking that just
Oh, so many things. Oh no, and I'm gonna think of all these things after we're done. Yeah. Putting, I don't know, putting beer in tomato sauce. I've seen people do that. Um, yeah, things like that. Things like that. That was something.
I have an inversion to garlic presses because I have good knife skills. And every time someone pulls out a garlic press, I'm like, "Oh, why are you doing that?"
Yeah, it's such a mess. It's so much easier to just cut it yourself, and I love doing that too. Like nice, beautiful slices. Then you have to clean out this garlic press. That's really more trouble than it's worth.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
three
you know
months
what?
to make it work.
People are making something with roasted chicken, and they're trying to shred the chicken, and they get egg beaters, and with the egg beaters to the chicken, it just doesn't look good. It's just when I see them using scissors to cut things.
Yeah, there's when cooking that are intentional, right? Structures.
But adding all of these dried Italian seasonings to a perfectly good fresh sauce that is just going to make it stale. You don't need all of these dried ingredients. You don't need dried oregano. You don't need, I mean, I love dried oregano for certain things. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to a sauce and you're just loading it up with dried fish,
Gina, you know what?
strip it of its freshness.
You know what it is, Gene? It's like they don't check the expiration dates on those things. Those things are from like 10 years ago, sitting in the cupboard.
They're from like a bunker.
Roosted is green, and now they're gray.
Somebody breaks the pasta to throw in the water.
Oh yeah, that's a mess. Like,
That is the oldest, like most, the worst offense to me is, wow, you just don't care about anything.
No, that's not good. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's not what you're supposed to do. People have given me a hard time about eating spaghetti with a fork and knife, only because it's not very graceful to, sit in a restaurant and shove your face in spaghetti. I have
my wife does the spoon thing. She does this thing. Yeah.
been never learned how to do that.
My kids want to do that, and I'm like, have at it, but like, they just take an entire bowl of pasta up on a fork and a spoon, and it's like,
Yeah.
you can't get it in your mouth. Congratulations.
No, she does it perfectly. She takes the right amount. It makes a little a little thing at the end of the fork, and she's not like giving her all over her shirt or anything.
She sounds more graceful than his.
Another thing
that's
that
not
people do in cooking videos is when they're salting the water for the boiling water for the pasta. They just put like a little sprinkle of salt in. You need salty as the ocean.
Seawater, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be salty as the ocean. You gotta pour that stuff in because it's not gonna taste as good, and you can't salt pasta after it's done. It will never be the same. So when see people just put a little sprinkle of salt in it, that drives me crazy.
You know what? There's this whole thing. I think there's a whole group of people that for some reason they weren't brought up with seasoned food, like just basic seasoning, like for food, or maybe they were thinking in their heads like the old school, like salt's bad for me or whatever. But if you don't, when you season food while you're cooking it, it is so much better when it isn't. It's just
Oh, so much. Yeah. There's definitely a balance, and there are certain cuisines that require more seasoning, and but then there's other cuisine that says it's a balance. What it means.
When you salt the water and you save some, a lot of times I'll save a little bit on the side to, sort of keep cooking with it. What do they call that? Mother's tears or tears of the mother, or
I call it there's a verb called mantecare, which I guess maybe that would be more for butter where you're making something creamy. But I don't know what you call it in English, but it's just you get the starchy pasta water and you mix it into the sauce and it helps thicken it. If you remember to preserve it.
connection to like the Virgin Mary, the tears of the mothers.
I learned that from watching Triple D Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives, and a lot. I mean, a lot of the cooks, that are they're doing the stuff right in front of you, and they're grabbing the water from the pasta water.
The immaculate concoction or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right there. Hey, just getting here, you missed it. But you can always tune rest into the program on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. And today, of course, we've got the wonderful and talented Gina Sicilia. Make sure you check out GinaItalian.com. That's where I find her keto-friendly sweet tomato basil sauce. Also, other things like she's got the Primavera sauce, the veggie and garlic Primavera, and one we talked about earlier.
Which has big chunks of zucchini and red pepper in it. It's awesome.
Nice.
And the tomato Parmesan cream. Zach loves zucchini. Speaking of big chunks of zucchini, I have got a garden at home waiting for me that the zucchini is probably far too big to be
Now,
normal.
gonna make zucchini boats with it. Anyway, see you bring.
Make a zucchini frittata.
Yes. Oh my God. I've been making frittatas up here with pegs in the morning with potatoes. From the
Awesome.
and love
hungry.
it. Sure. This has been so much fun. And
Thank
that's
you.
not connected to Gina, fix that shit. And we loved having you.
Yes,
It was so
absolutely.
great to be here. I'm sorry about the echo. I guess we can officially call ourselves the echo chamber.
Are we the bunny men?
What'd you say? Yes, exactly.
We're the bunny men.
Gina and the Echo Man. That's our new
Okay.
You,
I like that.
Echo Man. Sounds like a
The mean to it. Oh my lord.
Well, this was so much fun.
You guys, as we're gonna have to get out of you now, starting to talk about like sandworms.
Let's all go eat. We're probably hungry.
I know now I'm starving.
Oh, and if anybody needs one more thing to consider before we go today, I want to make sure that the one thing you think about completely before you do it too is